the July 10th, 2015 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Gina. Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
We're having a special event this time. Yvette will be hosting our friends at 17 Hats. Hello, Yvette.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Donovan.
Hi, Yvette. How are you?
Great. Thank you. We're so glad to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
17 Hats seems like a wonderful platform.
Thank you. Excited to be here today.
Would you like to tell us a little bit of how you got started with 17 Hats?
Yeah. So I can kind of run through our little deck here if you'd like. That gives us a little bit of background. So basically, I got the idea for 17 Hats a couple of years ago. My wife made the jump to being a full-time wedding photographer, and like many people starting a business, she really loved the creative part of her business, but she was kind of struggling with the administrative part. And so she asked me to kind of help her to see what was out there. And I looked around, and I saw there were lots of different apps that tried to solve each piece of the puzzle, but none of the apps had really tried to do it all. And it's kind of the common wisdom these days to build one app that, and focus on that rather than.
She says they can't hear you.
They can't hear me. That's not helpful.
I can hear.
I can hear.
Oh, now you can? Okay.
Okay.
Someone can. That's okay.
Okay. So.
He's back.
All right. Great. So just like I said, started looking around. There really wasn't anything out there. So I thought, well, being the typical guy, of course, I said, well, let me build you a system. And famous last words. I said it wouldn't take me that long. So it actually took about 2.5 years to get it all done. And then we launched it in October of last year.
Oh.
So I have a little bit of background in the photography industry. So we launched it to photographers. And then from there on, I just started spreading. Like Inc. magazine had a little blurb about us in January, where they recommended it as like the perfect tool for solopreneurs. And now we've been, going through into different businesses, anything from event planners to catering companies to dog trainers to sleep coaching, decor, any business you name it, we do it. So it's been very exciting.
Great. So, can you tell us too about this 17 Hats? Is it mainly geared for just photographers, or is it for all different types of entrepreneurs?
Yeah, it's really for any type of entrepreneur. Like when I started working, my first job was for a magazine called The Firm. It was back in the Netherlands. And this magazine actually helped small business owners, with advice on how to manage their business, anything from pricing to bookkeeping to legal. So I've always worked with a lot of small businesses. So while initially, the idea came from my wife being a photographer, there was actually an article in the New York Times just a few weeks later that said, described all these companies starting a business. Like there was one guy that did ceramics, and he said, I'm spending 30 hours a week just on my invoicing. So that kind of was the aha moment for me, like, hey, we can do this and make this work for any type of business. So when you go into 17 Hats, the presentation I'll give today, the demo will be using a photographer as an example, but you can really use this for any type of business. It's optimized at this point for service businesses, for people that kind of sell your time. But we'll be adding more and more functionality in the future to handle any other type of business as well.
And does this also have a scheduler, like it helps you set appointments up?
Yeah, so what it does, it has lots of different features. It has an online calendar, so you will be able to schedule your own appointments. The one thing we're working on right now is to allow clients to book their own. But for now, you can obviously schedule your own appointments. That syncs with Google Calendar as well as with iCal. With Google Calendar, it's a two-way sync, so if you change them on Google, it changes on ours. With iCal, it's just an export. Just the way iCal works. So yeah, I'll go through the whole demo and kind of show you all the different sections of the product. and how it works, right now.
Great. You want to get started on the demo?
Yeah. So, just to give you guys a little bit of idea of what we'll go over. 17 Hats will kind of make your life easier in 3 different ways. I want to give you kind of this prep, so when we get to the demo, there's a lot of information there. So you kind of have a roadmap on what we'll be going over. And the first thing what we did, of course, is everything is in one place. So you only have to learn one system, and if you have to look something up, you know exactly where to go. The second thing that we did was making everything a template. So you all had these days, right, where you spend the entire day being very busy. You get to the end of the day and you ask yourself, what did I actually do today? And it's just kind of work, answering emails, sending out proposals. So everything in 17 Hats is a template. That means you never have to do the same thing twice. So emails can be a template, proposals can be a template, invoices can be a template, etc. So that saves you a ton of time, right there. And then the third way, and this is what a large part of the demo will focus on today, is workflows. And the great thing about workflows is that it really allows you to automate each step for your client. So previously you'd have to send a contract, then send an invoice. Here you can do all those steps automatically, including follow-up emails, as well as keeping yourself on track with to-do items. So, and a workflow kind of consists out of these 3 different parts: to-do items, action items, and pause items. And I'll go into that as we get into the demo. So let me switch screens and go into my browser. Let me know if you guys can see my browser. It should be on a Facebook page.
Yes.
Great. All right, so the flow we're going to go through is kind of from when you get first contacted by a client to signing them up, kind of onboarding them, so to speak, and then how to kind of use it on a day-by-day basis. So when a client first contacts you, they can find you through your Facebook page or your website. And what we have here is what we call a lead capture form. You create this form that you can plug into your Facebook page or your website, and this is if a client finds you online, they can fill out. So
this is also connected to 17 Hats?
Yeah, this is you create this form in 17 Hats, and then you install it on your Facebook page.
Very nice.
Yes. I don't think there's anything else like that.
Well, Facebook, it looks like Facebook.
Yeah. It just integrates nicely into Facebook or your website. You can customize the color of the button, and you can customize all these questions, right? So in this case, it's for a wedding photographer, so clearly it's the date of the event.
Great.
But when you're a bookkeeper, you can ask, okay, what type of service are you looking for? Like, bookkeeping, just tax preparation, etc. All of the above. So in this case, we're going to book an event for August 31st, and we're going to submit that. Well, once this is submitted, you will be notified either by email or by SMS, so you get a nice notification on your phone. And this is just important when a client first contacts you, because with today's internet, clients typically contact multiple business at the same time, and the person who responds fastest has a very good chance of closing the deal. So you can notify by email or SMS, and of course when you log into 17 Hats, when I refresh this here, there'll be a notification as well. So it's going to be a little bit slow today because both Mariette and I are using a video feed, and the internet in our new office is not particularly fast yet. So bear with me as these screens update.
We are so used to technical problems here at our Hangouts.
Yeah, and let me know if I get too much ahead of the screen as well. I'll try to make sure that I don't, but since I can't see your screen, just let me know if it gets out of sync. So this is a 17 Hat, dashboard, and if you sign up for an account, this is kind of, where you were spending a lot of time. So right on top of here, it has the little mini calendar. Just tells you what's coming up today. We'll have your events as well as your to-do items. Then on the right-hand side, it just tells you kind of what's been happening. It gives you recent client activity. allows you to see items that are pending. And really the main part of the business here is the Let's Take Care of Business section. This tells you what you should be taking action on, right now. Now we want to be helpful to your business. You don't want to nag you, so sometimes you might say, hey, I don't want to deal with these invoices today. You can simply say, hey, remind me tomorrow or in a week or in a month. Just a nice way to keep the dashboard clean. You can see we include time tracking as well. So if you want to bill by hour or by any other time measure, you can click on time tracking here, create a project, select a project. You have different rates for different clients, and the system will just keep track of it, and you can very easily create an invoice from it. So I just created that lead from Facebook, and here it is. Melissa through Facebook came in on July 10th. I can click on that there, and then I can see what was filled out in the form. And from here I can assign that workflow. And just to kind of reiterate how that works, is that it will automatically guide you through the whole booking process. We had a client that does websites for people that go to Good Morning America, so people that need a website that can handle the traffic. So he would build those as they're booked on those shows. And he said normally it would take me about 2 to 3 weeks to get all the information from them. I would have to send them the proposal. I would have to then follow up with the contract. I have to get them to fill out all the information that has to be on their site. And it's just a lot of back and forth. And he says now with 17 Hats, all I have to do is click on one button, assign a workflow, and it all happens automatically. So we're going to walk through that. So in this case, I'm going to say add a workflow. And I'm going to say the wedding workflow. And you can see that this date that was filled out in that form now already lives in this project for this client. So one of the big things we're about at 17 Hats is never have to do the same thing twice. So you never have to enter the same data twice, just because everything can kind of be reused. We're going to activate this workflow. And what's going to happen then is that this workflow is now assigned to this project. We've got a couple of different phases, and all these things you can set up. So like I said, while this is set up for a photographer, you can make this entirely custom for your business and make it work very well. And so typically when a client first contacts you, you want to make sure that they're the right client. And you can do that one or two ways. You can obviously meet them in person or pick up the phone, or you can send them a questionnaire. So a questionnaire is something they can fill out online, and as you can see here, that was automatically sent. So we're going to hit review just to double check what was sent. We can hit preview so we can see what it looks like for the client. And so this is how this questionnaire looks for a client. You can see it will have your logo. It has your branding. You can change the color on this button with your own branding, and we're completely white label. So it looks very clean and very professional, and people never know that you use 17 Hats. So what's nice about questionnaires, even if you do this initial consultation over the phone or in person, you have something that you can use to kind of guide the conversation along. And you can just fill this out yourself, so you have all that data to easily look up. So they're a great way to get intake information, so to speak. So now let's fill this out like the client would. And then once this is answered by the client, you will get a notification again by email as well as on your dashboard. So if you log back into 17 Hats here, it would have a notification that the questionnaire here was filled. Also under to-do items, it will now ask you if this client was a good fit or not. And that's kind of what I call a pause item. Sometimes in a workflow you want to not have it go automatically further. With a pause item you can kind of have it pause until you say, yeah, this client is a good fit. So if we click on that, and then go back to our workflow. Now you can now say, hey, the next step here is to send the proposal. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a workflow can consist out of to-do items and action items. And action items can trigger automatically, or they can trigger and allow you to review it. So for example, in this case, we're going to send a proposal. Well, very often you want to kind of fine-tune that proposal based on the information you received from that initial consultation. So it has created a proposal, but it's not going to send it out until we've reviewed it. So we're going to click on Review. Now, from here we can make any changes that we'd like, and we can go ahead and send it once we're ready. So our quotes, or bids or proposals, however you want to call them, are quite extensive. You can offer packages, in which case your client chooses from predefined packages. You can offer a la carte, so people just select what they want to hire you for, or you can just offer a proposal that is kind of more set, and the client cannot make any adjustment. So it really works well for any type of use case you'd have with sending out a proposal. So we're going to go ahead and send this quote. I can select an email template here, and you can adjust all of these to your own liking. We'll hit send, and then we can do the same thing and kind of preview it from the client perspective. So one really big thing about 17 Hats, why clients love this and makes it easy for them as well, is that the quote, the contract, and the invoice can all be in one. It doesn't have to be. You can have these separate steps if you'd like. But if you would like to make it very streamlined for your clients, they can just do it all at once. So in this case, now let me go ahead and select a package. I'll accept the quote. And of course, there's a contract attached to it. We're not going to sign it here, we're just going to accept it, but obviously with the contract bit, we will sign it. So here's the contract. You can see the names are filled out automatically. The date is filled out. You can have people initial certain areas. You can actually ask different questions in this contract as well. And then the client can sign it here. You can have multiple people sign it if you're dealing with multiple business owners. And then your signature either gets added automatically, or you can choose to countersign it after your client has signed. Entirely up to you. We'll go ahead and sign this contract. And the next step here is to view the invoice. And with this invoice, this quote template already included a payment schedule as well, so you can see how this payment has been split up in 3 different payments. And it's all preset. So from here, I'm getting an echo. Let's see. I think it's better now. All right, thank you. So from here, the client can pay online. They can of course send a check also, but if they want, they can go ahead and pay this right here. And credit card processing is done either through Stripe, or through Authorize.net, or through PayPal. For most businesses that don't do any online payment processing yet, we recommend Stripe. This can also be very useful for your client that doesn't do anything online yet. Stripe is free to set up. There's no monthly fees, and they just take 2.9% and 30 cents per transaction. And it's very simple to set up within 17 Hats. So once this is paid, obviously the client is done with this part, but it'll automatically be reminded for the next payment when it's due. Also, when you send an invoice to a client that hasn't been paid yet, it will automatically send due reminders also. So once this gets paid, we can log into the other part of 17 Hats, and it will automatically keep track of it in the bookkeeping section. So I was talking to Mariette about that before the hangout, and the idea of our bookkeeping section is just to get businesses to start using bookkeeping. Obviously not a problem for bookkeepers, but as you know, and very familiar with, many other very small businesses, they don't do any bookkeeping at all because going into QuickBooks is just a bit of a hassle for them. It's expensive. They don't know what they're doing. So ours is very similar to Wave Accounting and to FreshBooks, where it just uses bank feeds for the transactions, but also is tied into our invoices, of course. So from here on, you can categorize things. Invoices are pre-categorized, of course, and also keep track of sales tax. Now we have reports for profit and loss, sales tax, upcoming receivables, and aged receivables. And I'm sure as bookkeepers, you guys would like some more reports here. That's what we're working on, and also part of why we're want to do the hangout today and get your feedback on it. So the bank feeds are coming from Yodlee, but we're adding the Intuit bank feeds as we speak. It's in final testing right now, and we hope to have that live early next week. And of course, you can always do it manually as well. Any questions so far?
So I wanted to ask, I think, how does this integrate with any other software, like any other platform, like QuickBooks or say Xero? Does it integrate with either of those?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not if we're doing the bank feeds. Integrating with QuickBooks Online is next on our list.
I have
how
a question.
incorporating like a balance sheet too. How eventually do you think you will have a balance sheet as well?
Yes. Yeah, and eventually it will be pretty soon. We actually just hired a developer who's what used to be a CPA in his previous life, who's going to help us develop some of that functionality in the next 2 to 3 months.
Also, can you reconcile?
Yeah, so that's kind of one of the debates these days with cloud accounting, and we kind of have the same philosophy as FreshBooks on that. It's because you have the bank feeds.
Right.
Reconciliation basically happens already. Now I know from your perspective, it's definitely not the same. So that's kind of why I want to get your feedback and see how can we set it up in a way that it doesn't create more work for most people, because if it creates that reconciliation, most people are just not going to do it at all, right? Which is worse than at least keeping track of expenses. At the same time, we want to make sure that it does the things that you're looking for when you're managing accounts for your clients.
Now, James is asking, does it have capabilities in CSV file to export it in CSV file?
You have the option right now to import it. And we're adding these export options. Like, as I mentioned, we only started in October, so we just passed our 9-month anniversary. Right? And we've been growing much faster than we expected. And it doesn't make sense for us to build export functions until people actually start using it.
Sure.
Now that it's growing so quickly, it's one of those things that is very near the top of our list. So we're working, once we have this Intuit data feed done, we'll start working on the QuickBooks Online integration next, as well as the CSV export options, and more reporting.
On your workflow, I was looking at some of the terminology, like you have booking. Is there a way to change the terminology on that too? According to the industry?
So creating a workflow is really very straightforward. Let's create a new workflow here. You can select which calendar this to-do items and all that go on.
Sure.
So here's a new workflow, and then each phase you can just name however you want. So second phase.
Second. Bigger.
That's great. So you could just create whatever you want for the phase.
So one of the things we work very hard on with 17 Hats is to keep things very abstract, so to speak, so you can always customize it specifically for your needs.
That's wonderful. Yeah, the platform, it looks so nice too. It's clear.
Yeah, no, we try to keep it very user friendly.
Okay.
And
Will
just,
you give any options to say change the background or change the colors and things in the future?
So if you go into account settings, you can go to my preferences, and there you can change like the background. So one of the backgrounds I really like is I like it warm.
Wow, so you have several.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
you
great.
can change the button colors on the client side. It doesn't change them inside the app, but it changes it on the client side. If you don't like the background at all, you can just have a solid color. You can customize the domain name that is being used. There, obviously your time zone. So yeah, there's a lot of different customization options.
The other thing I like too is how it's taking payment.
Yeah.
You go in there and charge a credit card, and does it only work with? Does it work with Stripe? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it works. So we have 3 vendors right now. It's Stripe, PayPal, and Authorize.net. We're working with Voila as well, which should be coming in the near future. And then we're also working hard on adding e-check transactions.
Ooh, that's nice.
Great.
Yeah.
How about the fees? How does the bookkeeping handle the fees? That seems to be something that trips people up.
Mm-hmm. It's a good question. So that's one of the so with Authorize.net, it's actually pretty straightforward because they often charge a fee separately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In which case, it just comes through the bank feed, and it's as simple as checking it off. With Stripe and PayPal, you'd have to enter it as a transaction because when it comes into the bank feed, it doesn't match what was charged. So you just have to add it as an expense, each month. And we're working on with Stripe to get around that. PayPal, unfortunately, there's no way to do that. So.
Right.
And Donovan, is my tax settings, is that for sales tax or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So with sales tax, we offer, you can have as many different sales taxes as you like. Pretty straightforward. You put in the name of the sales tax rate, and then when you create an invoice or a quote, you can determine which products are taxable and which taxes apply. In certain jurisdictions, multiple taxes apply. So if we go to that, and I'll show you kind of how that works. I'll just go create a quote here. So let's add an item here. Price. We can say that it's taxable, and then if you have multiple taxes, you can just check them off here and what's being used or not. You can also obviously set up your income category. You can define these categories yourself. It just comes with those preset. And you can choose if you want to save this item for later use.
And is there a report that you can get to see how much sales tax you need to pay?
Yeah. So this is my little test account. So I haven't pulled up a sales tax report in here, so I'm not sure what's going to show up. But yeah, so we have here a report for the last month. And you can see the taxable amount, the total collected,
Yes.
and then what the tax is. So yeah. It's all very basic stuff, but the stuff that you need.
You know what impressed me when I'm reviewing software is on your website you have a forum where people can ask for or put in suggestions, feature suggestions, and then vote on them. That really impresses me because a lot of companies won't do that because you can read this and say, oh, and then you find out what it does and does not do. But it also tells me that you are growing and changing and improving, and I just wanted to say that I like the feature forum.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, again, our philosophy is like we're in this together, right? I mean, we can only build software for your business and help you if you let us know what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we can try and guess it, but I'm gonna guess wrong otherwise. So it gets us to where we both need to be a lot faster. If it's if we really partner on this and you tell us what we need, and we will listen to it and make it happen as much as we can. So it's really nice both ways, because we can see what people are really needing, and then we are usually pretty quickly on working on those improvements.
I have two questions and kind of regarding to that. The first one is, where are you guys at into adding 17 Hats into mobile apps?
Mm-hmm.
And the second question is, what is the plans or future look like for getting multiple users onto that?
That was on my list, too.
Those are great questions.
Yeah, but both very good questions, and both questions that we get asked a lot. And if I would flip my camera around and flip the whiteboard around, you can see what our roadmap will be. And those are two of the things that are on top of our roadmap. So mobile app and multi-user are both coming this year. It's development, so I can't give you like an exact date, much as I would like to. But they're on top of our list. I mean, basically, the 5 things that we're working on is a mobile app, and then I say 5 things, the 5 big things. Obviously, there's a lot of smaller things we're also doing. The mobile app, multi-user, client portal for service businesses, so at least you can log in as a client and see all the invoices and any history there. Client portal for design companies, where you can assign to-dos to your clients. So, for example, if there's certain tax information that you require from them, you can assign them a to-do list, and they can log in and see what they need to be doing. And then lastly is the online scheduling component, where clients can go in themselves and schedule for an appointment and prepay and those things. So that's kind of our hit list for the remainder of this year. In terms of the big items, and then there's the smaller items such as improved reporting, exporting to QuickBooks Online, etc. So.
Got it. Okay.
So in terms of like the calendar, very straightforward. You can connect it to your Google Calendar. You can have as many calendars in here. You can color code them. You can export that. With Google Calendar, it's a two-way sync, so anything you do here automatically updates there and vice versa. And you can export it to iCal. So if you use iCal, you simply select the calendar, and then you click on Share Calendar link, and you copy and paste this into the subscribe area in iCal. Another really cool feature that we have that's very useful is our email sync. So, obviously email you often do in Gmail or in your current email client, and we want to make sure that that automatically comes into 17 Hats. So you can sync this up with almost every email provider that supports IMAP. I just go into my account and then email settings. And if you use Gmail, it's very straightforward. You simply just click on Connect Account, you choose your provider, and it sets it all up for you right there. So what this does also, it reminds you if a client emails you and you haven't responded to them yet. I think we've all had that situation where a client will email late at night and you think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then the next day it gets really busy and it just kind of falls off the radar. So with 17 Hats, we just warn you on the dashboard here, like, hey, you have 3 emails from clients you have not answered to that may need follow-up. And then within your project, you can always see the whole history of emails as well. So what's nice about it is if you email them back from your phone, it automatically comes into 17 Hats. You don't have to do anything about it. Just to still always be organized.
And Donovan, can you show us how the leads work?
Yeah. So this is actually an area that is under heavy development, and we'll have an update for that in the next couple of weeks. So leads typically come in through an email capture form, or you can add them manually. So if somebody called you up, you can enter information here. You can see the leads that are hot leads. So hot leads would tend to be like people that you're in active communication with. And from there, you can do the click on them and see what they've answered, as well as if there's a date conflict for event people. Setting up a lead capture form is really straightforward. You click here on lead capture, and from there you can set up different forms if you'd like, different for Facebook, or different for your website, or you can use the same form. You simply put in all the different questions here. So if you want to add another question here, choose from list, like what tax services do you require? What service do you require? Tax prep, etc. You can add as many answers as you like. You get a required question, and it's as simple as that. And now it's already up to date on Facebook if it's pre-installed. Installing on Facebook is very straightforward. You click on Install Form, install on Facebook, and click that button, and it would walk you through that process. Just a few clicks. So one of the cool things is that we're updating with the lead page itself is where right now it's just an alphabetical list, but it's going to be more like the workflow area where it will kind of prompt you like, hey, these are your leads that need follow-up. This is where all your leads are that are active, and remind you of needing to follow up as well.
That's wonderful. That's great. You really thought of almost everything here.
Thank you.
Full package, just about.
Just the fact that you said that it's taken off so quickly, people are really desperate for a one-stop, Doug Sleater calls it chunkification, where we have so many different little programs to handle pieces, and it's nice to see developers really start to work on all of the flow that we do in our businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because it just having all these different apps just actually eats up so much more time, because now you're managing your apps rather than managing your business.
Right.
And I talked to so many people that before were doing things in PDFs, and they are updating the contract every time, and that stuff adds up so quickly. In just a few hours a week. Like for every hour a week that you save over a week in productivity a year. If you save 2 hours a week, that's 100 hours a year, right? I mean, it's insane.
Donovan, Linda's asking, where do people online find the lead capture form to fill in?
Okay, so you go to leads, and then you click on lead capture here.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't have any leads, it will be a much bigger button and warn you about that.
Okay, I think she's asking too.
Is the code?
Is it that something that they could also access through our website?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you click on install form here.
Right. That's what I thought.
You can add a link that just opens up a dialog, or you can have it embedded on your site.
That's great.
Yeah. You can even add it as a link in your emails if you like, and then it just goes to a hosted
That's nice.
on our thing. So.
There it is, the code. Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Great. So lots of different options, there, and then, this is an area where we're constantly adding more and more functionality. So.
Yeah. Right now, if you're a sole practitioner, this is well. But I'm juggling a team of 3 or 4 and 50 clients at a time. The first thing I look at is, and when I'm looking at the information, is can I tell which client it is? Is there a way to, some of them you can just see. I've had some work for demos where you'll see the client name and it'll say bank rec, and then you go, which bank? So, right, because over to the right it says recent client activity, and it has the, I guess it'd be how you would work. How you would name the job, I guess. This is just a woman's name, Melissa Kwan.
Yeah. Just you have the flexibility there to name whatever you'd like. So it's always a client name and then the project name as well. And from there you can easily click on the invoice or go to the project, and then on the project here. Now you have all the the data that they're very easily accessible. You can see the history. You can see the project emails.
So the job name can be just entered freehand, or it took it off of her name. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
The project name.
Yeah.
You can just type in what you want. Okay.
Yeah, you can also add tags to each project. So if you wanna.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about tags.
Yeah. So in this case, obviously it's a wedding, right? But I can say maybe this wedding is in San Francisco, and it's going to be an outdoor wedding. Right?
Okay.
I'd save that, and then if I go to projects, I can search for projects just by those tags, and see that they're related ones. So.
Aha.
Right. So and for in your scenario, you can have a project that is related to end of year taxes and sales tax, etc.
Quarterly clients, monthly client.
Yeah.
Support.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess the trick is really looking at all the features and how it flows, and then taking the service type business and laying out how they like to do business. That's going to be I think the fun of something like this as a support person or as a consultant is to take the business and advise on how to set it up. How much help are you with new clients? Are you sign up online? Is there a trial period?
Yeah. So there's a 15-day free trial. If you need it longer, you just email support. We always extend it, right? If you need help setting it up, we offer webinars where we go through all of this. But we're also always happy to jump on the phone and help you out. Yeah, and we have a pretty extensive help section also. You can put questions in here. So how do I create a questionnaire, for example? It's gonna give you like a video, a step-by-step tutorial, and allow you to send a message. So right from in the application, you can see how to set up a questionnaire. So there's a lot of help available, and we want you to be successful. So we're here for you. We offer. We're in the process of adding 24/7 support. Right now, it's 7 days a week, for I think 16 hours a day. It should be 24/7 in about 2 weeks from now.
Also, Donovan, we have a question. Somebody wants to know if invoices could be made reoccurring in the future.
Yeah. So, that is in final testing right now. So recurring invoicing should be live in the next week to 2 weeks. The recurring invoicing is not recurring billing. I mean, it doesn't automatically charge a credit card yet, but it will automatically send invoices to clients. So if you want to have a client set up a monthly billing, you can set that up where it sends out a monthly invoice to them, and that should be live in the next 1 to 2 weeks. It's in final testing right now.
And someone also is asking if on the Facebook form, can there be a logo added or graphic?
On this form here. So we didn't do that because you already have your Facebook branding around here. So if we add a logo here, it's a little redundant. So the answer right now it will be no, but that's kind of why, because it's within the Facebook thing. If you use the link that is on our site or use the dialogue, it does add the logo again, just like everywhere else. Make sense?
Yvette, would you please ask the questions I'm posting that are coming from people watching?
Yeah, she just did on.
Starting with invoices, can they be made reoccurring now?
Right,
those-
we just talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so busy typing, I didn't hear the answer. Okay.
That's coming,
It's in testing, right?
yes, it's final testing. It's coming in the next 2 weeks, depending on how long the testing takes. Yeah. Unfortunately, the development is not an exact science, but coming very soon. Can't wait for that one.
The big one.
Mhm.
One more question. What is?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that. There's another question here, and I'm not sure I understand it. It says, will there be a client portal specifically for the AR report? I don't understand.
In order to pay bills, a portal for the customer to pay their AR?
I would imagine what that means. Would it be a client portal for the client to see what they have to pay?
Probably.
And yeah, that is one of our hit items for the remainder of the year. It's funny. One of the trade show that we went to beginning of the year that we obviously sponsor. They use 17 Hats to invoice us. So as an actual client now, where they invoice me every month, I can see the need for that quite heavily. So it's high on my priority list just to make my own life easier.
You may be referring to automatic payments, like being able to have someone like automatically just go in there and make their payments, their AR payments, versus having to invoice them. That was another question.
So on that one, we're in a research phase. It's just because of PCI compliance laws and some complications with Stripe where we haven't figured that one out yet. So it's something we're looking into, but we don't have a date for that yet. I don't know if that's going to be in the near future or if that's a little bit longer out. It is something I'd definitely like to offer, but don't have a definite answer on it yet.
Also, Mariette said that she might be able to give us a demo too as well. Mariette, are you there?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me put my mic on 1 second.
Let me turn mine off then.
Yeah.
So we don't get like echoing.
Can you hear me? Oh, I think I can hear my echo. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? I can't hear them though.
Hear who? She just muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So, hi everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. So I'm a huge 17 Hats fan. That's why I had to stalk Donovan all the way to his office today and then be your special guest here in the background. Awesome hangout, Yvette. It's great. So I just offered to kind of show you a live version of 17 Hats because I have been using it. So do you guys want to see that?
Sure.
I do.
Cool. All right. Okay, cool. So, hi guys. I'm going to get distracted by my video of myself, so I'm not going to show myself. I just wanted to say hi real quick. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Okay. So, let me screen share. And what do I want to screen share? I think I want to screen share this. Okay, so you can tell me what you're saying.
Not real data, right?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm like, what do I really want to screen share?
Yeah,
so
it's like,
what
well, it's confidential. Mm-hmm.
Am I sharing anything yet? No, I'm not.
No, I just
Okay.
Donovan.
Okay, so I said I wanted to share this, and I want to share this. So now, do you see me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
All
Okay.
right. There we
So,
go.
so as you know, Joanne and I and Yvette and Jelena and Melissa, we're like 17 Hats junkies. We're always on Facebook Avo talking about it. I heard about it because, as you know, Team SOB, we're always trying to, well, all of us are always trying to find great tools for our clients. So I was on an appaholic year where I've been just learning about tons of apps, which you guys know. So Joanne and I were going back and forth on project management apps and which ones were better for our clients. And what happened? Oh gosh, sorry. I think my phone's ringing. That's so annoying. Okay. Because I'm on my hotspot on my phone, and my phone is actually ringing while I'm talking to you. That's terrible.
We can't hear it. I didn't hear
Okay, good. Okay. I can hear the ringing, so I hope it stops ringing soon. Okay. So anyway, point is, so she introduced me to 17 Hats on a weekend where I told her I was going to be just learning smart sheets back and forth, and she's like, well, I'm going to learn 17 Hats, you learn smart sheets. So that was awesome. We got back together on a Monday, and she was telling me about 17 Hats, and I said, oh my God, it sounds amazing. So I pretty much learned everything I think I need to know at this point about smart sheets. So I took on 17 Hats, and my whole issue personally, which I'm sure is probably yours too, is that I truly wear 17 hats for my own business. So I kind of saw it from the client's perspective, but I really got into 17 Hats for myself. The way I wanted to use 17 Hats was I really loved the lead capture. I really loved that idea, and so if you notice when and can you see me going back and forth like this? Oh, you got off. Oh, you can't see that when I go back to another screen? You can't see that? Oh, man. How do I do that? How do I choose another
They're
thing?
sitting next to each other. I was confused there for a
You
second.
need to probably click on it and then click screen share again. Would that work?
Or drag it over and put the smaller
That
window.
might work
Oh,
too.
the entire screen. So I can flick back and forth that way. Okay, sorry. Okay, obviously I don't know Hangouts very well. Okay,
Well, I
so
don't worry, none of us do.
so what do you? Oh,
We
man.
do, they change it.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So I was showing you a second ago. Promise.
You're posing again, Mariette.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
No,
I feel
you
like
look
I'm back on.
wonderful.
I feel like I'm back on yes. Now do you see this? Okay, perfect. So this is what I wanted to show you. Okay. So basically what I was trying to show you was I started with the idea in regards to putting the lead capture on my Facebook, and so I really loved what Joanne did. She was the one that right away we talk about it, and then she goes and does it, and then I go and just follow what she does.
Yeah,
So so since I loved
Oh, book now. I just saw it.
since I loved the lead capture idea, so her and I said, okay, let's go ahead and create lead captures. So there's two different ways that I think that, I felt that would be easier for ourselves and to teach our clients how to pick up the lead captures. And I appreciated both ways because they were so easy to look at and to create. I'm creating the one on my website right now. I actually sent that to my web designer a couple days ago. So Joanne decided to do it through her Facebook. So if you just go to her fan page and you click on her contact, it just seamlessly created this really cool contact form that you can't even really tell she's using 17 Hats. You just think like you're on her fan page. But this name, email, and then the question here submits and goes right into her 17 Hats. So the nice thing about it, and I think if you go and do a search on Avo under 17 Hats Mariette, just so you know, you got to do 17 Hats Mariette if you want to see all the stuff that I wrote. Because I heard what Seth said today. He was making fun of me about how many 17 Hats posts I've done so far. So if you do want to see it, you have to do 17 Hats Mariette, and then the hundreds of posts will come up. Okay, but one of them was actually me saying how great that lead capture is, because when it actually comes in, it'll say something really warm and exciting like, hey, you got a new lead, come and check it out. And so you get a notification saying that you got a new lead. And so you come in here, and depending on how robust you create your lead form to be, you can have their information. So here's an example of a lead right here. You can actually create a lead and you can put like more detail in it, or you can keep it simple where all they do is just give you their name and their email address. So you can have a lot of fun with that, but ultimately it already gets your lead in your 17 Hats. And for me, that's already a struggle, because where I get my lead personally right now is I go and I get it on my website. You contact me through my website, and I actually have my contact page going to my email. So basically, I get an email that says I have a new lead. I have to grab that information. I have to go put it in my CRM. I have to put it in my Google Mail or wherever I want to put it. Now I don't have to do that. I basically already have it waiting for me in the lead capture. So
Yeah.
that right away, I thought that was awesome.
And we could put a link on our website too with this, right?
Yeah. So in other words, that's what I'm saying. That's why I really liked what Melissa and Joanne did. Is Joanne decided to put it on her Facebook, but Melissa decided to do it on her webpage. So this is Melissa Whaley. She's also on ABO quite a bit, talking about 17 Hands, and she just put it on her Contact Us page. So this is actually another lead form, but she picks up her leads through her webpage, which is basically what I'm doing. But the nice thing about this is that she doesn't have to take this and go ahead and put it in her CRM or put it in her Gmail contacts. It goes straight into her 17 Hats, which is really awesome. So that was one thing I liked right away. The other feature that I use quite a bit, and I really liked how Linda mentioned in the chat that, you know, I'll use some of these, but I won't use all of them, and I totally agree with you, Linda, because
that's use the bookkeeping.
Right, exactly, and I'm with you, because I agree with you. I figured, why am I going to, you know, go into something that has so many things that I'm not going to use? But I'll be honest with you, the features that I do use have saved my business's workflows, I mean, tremendously. And where I'm going to go through with that is the workflow app, the workflow functionality, I guess.
And not only that, but if you have clients that really don't want to do their bookkeeping but want to do what this does, they can do it, and then you can print reports, and you could lump sum it into their QuickBooks. So
Right, that's what we're excited to hear. They're going to work on the exporting one day.
Well, you know, if they do it, fine. If they don't, that's fine. You know. So. Mariette,
some of us can rekey it.
Mariette?
She muted.
Oh, Dennis came on.
Look at there. Where'd Mariette go?
Mariette, are you still there? She's unmuted. She's
muted.
Silent, that's all.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
And hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that if we learn all the features, even if we don't use them, like when you mentioned the exportable file, I was thinking right away, Transaction Pro, Transaction Pro Importer, or even Garcia's tool, where you can use that Excel, turn it into a QBO, and import it right into QBO, or import the CSV into Xero. I mean, there's so many things that they can do if they just export it, provide the exportable file. And so, yeah, I'll probably discuss that, because that's awesome. That's awesome. So, okay, so the other thing I love, I'll just tell you, is the workflows. As you know, I'm a workflow junkie. That's why I love Smartsheets. Sarah, thank you for inviting me to your Smartsheet secret group, and thank you for your videos and your Hangout, and Seth on his Hangout. I love Smartsheets. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you guys know I talk about Smartsheets all the time. So anyway, while workflows in 17 Hats is almost borderline as exciting as workflows in Smartsheets. So you can just see how excited I am. So let me give you an example of a quick workflow. So the way workflows get created, as Donovan mentioned, is you basically do have to invest time in what are called the templates. Now, I'm not going to lie. This is not something you're going to do, in a few hours. I mean, you have to invest your time in the workflow. The reason why is because your workflow is essentially step-by-step what you do with your engagement from beginning to end. If you want this to work, and if you want this to be, quote, automated, like truly automated, then you need to spend time on your workflows. But Sarah, you can agree with that with Smartsheet, right?
Absolutely.
Right? So you have to spend time on your workflows on Smartsheet. Well, you have to spend time on your workflows with 17 Hats. So here's an example of one of my workflows. This is my new connections, my discovery call, and my email recap with billable rates workflow. Essentially, it's a brand new QuickBooks Consulting workflow, and these are the type of things that I do. First, enter the contact information. So this would be, now the nice thing about this is I kind of can replace this with lead. So if I get the lead capture, the contact information is already going to be in there. That was before I considered bringing in the lead capture. Now that I'm going to do that, I probably can get rid of this first step. Then I send my first email, which is they get an automatic email that says, hey, thanks for contacting me. Let's, schedule an appointment or a discovery call. Let me get to know what's going on with you. Then I schedule my discovery call, and then I update my workflow with my actual appointment that we're going to meet. And now these are automations here. So for instance, 2 days before the call, I can create this to be an automated workflow where it will be based on the date of my call. It's going to send this automatically, or I can approve it. Now, the idea here is, you know, workflows should be automated if they're working right. So you should feel comfortable with the send it automatically option. Personally, I still don't feel comfortable because I'm learning the feature. But so far, it has been sending perfectly on the right days at the right time with the right information. So I think ultimately most of my workflows will go to send automatically versus approve before sending. Joanne just does everything automatically. So I don't know if you've actually heard how her workflow works, but from contact to the end, she even has an automated invoice that gets sent to the client. The client pays her, and then she gets the actual notification she's been paid in 17 Hats. So literally, sometimes when she's sleeping, she says she wakes up with money in her PayPal. No, and you listen to her. She'll literally say that. She'll send me a message and say, Maria, do you want to know how much money I made when I was sleeping from 17 Hats? I love it. Yeah, that's how cool it is. So, and then basically these workflows are all based on templates. So you know, create a template, and then the nice thing about it is that you copy this template over. So what I mean by that is obviously we always, you know, if you really think about it, we do the same steps with every new client. You know, sort of, mostly the same steps. So I have 17 steps from beginning to end with a new consulting client, all the way to, as Donovan was mentioning, to the contract stage when I actually have to create a contract and have them sign the contract. And so I can get all of those stages in here. And there, see, for instance, this is my engagement stage when I'm already actually going to do the contract with the client. And so I'll send the contract. And when I send the contract, essentially they'll e-sign it, send it back to me. I'll get a notification that they got the contract signed, and then we're ready to go. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't actually invoice through here, but my very last steps, in my case, my last steps is go ahead and send me a review, tell me how great I am. You know, I love reviews. But Joanne's last step is pay me. So she always has the invoice here. So, you know, you're going to create your own workflow, but the idea is once you've created and invested all of this time in your workflow, then what do? You do this. This is the best part. So you get a new client. So let's pretend Marriott's my new client. So I click on Marriott. I add a new project, meaning I'm going to go ahead and do a new QuickBooks engagement with her. So let's call it QuickBooks Project. I'm going to save that. And then I come in here and I add the workflow. And don't go slow on me now. You've been doing good. Okay, click on workflow. So there's my QuickBooks Consulting new. I have to go to base date. So let me say today. And now when I go into Marriott, the new client, the whole workflow is there. Done. And I just start from there. I mean, wow. I'm essentially done. If I go ahead and turn this into automated, these little review buttons turn into send, because I'm actually forcing it to remind me to review it versus it automatically sending. So if I automatically sent it, then it would be truly an automated workflow.
And I want to be able to delegate that. You do this, I have to.
Now we're going back to smart sheets again. So the idea of, and you know, that's a really good suggestion.
Well,
though,
they have
Sarah,
it on their.
Then that's when I think you could delegate those steps.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. Right now you wouldn't be able to, but I think that's the idea of the multi-user.
Right.
So and then if you guys just want to see how pretty it looks, because they actually look pretty nice. I mean, I have to say, I'm just gonna do a quick. I'm gonna have a new client. I'm gonna call me Marriott. This is my new client, and let me just put my email just so you can see what it looks like. One of my many emails. Oh, and just so you know, as most apps, 17 Hats is based on your email address, and so it's associated to your email address, so you can pull in your emails, you can connect your Google Calendar, you can connect your Google emails, all of that good stuff. So this isn't, go ahead.
Can you have more than one email?
That's actually a really good question, and I think we'll give that back to Donovan because I had that question for him too. Right now you can't, but I would love to be able to toggle to different emails. But essentially that would be like toggling to different users. So yeah, they don't have that yet, but that's one of my wish lists. I have a big wish list. You want to see my wish list? Look at my wish list.
Look at
You like
that.
Like Trello. Yeah.
Look at that. You know, I'm a Trello junkie too, right? So this is Mariette's wish list. This is Joanne's wish list. This is Melissa's wish list. So you want to add, feel free. Feel free to add to our wish list because we're excited over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and have a new engagement with myself. That's kind of funny, but okay. And then I'm going to add my new workflow, and I'm going to add QuickBooks Consulting New, and then I'm going to start as of today. And you're going to see how quickly this is, assuming the internet's good. Okay. So the first thing I have to do in my workflow is I have to enter my own contact information. Okay. Hello. I did that, right? It's kind of funny, but anyways, I entered it. And these are actually notes for myself. So when you actually create something in your workflow, just so you know, there's 3 different actions or kind of items that you create in a workflow. One is a to-do item. So every time it comes up on your workflow, it's going to make you do something. So for instance, this made me open up this to-do item to add my contact. So that was like, Mariette, do this. And then when I have a to-do item, which is really cool, I actually have a reminder on my desktop that says, Mariette, you need to do something. Because we have to get reminders like crazy to do things because we don't remember to do things. And so to do things in items in QuickBooks in 17 Hats reminds you to do things in 17 Hats. Just like if you use the Intuit online payroll for accountants, you know how we have a to-do list? On your homepage, you have your little to-do list. I don't know if you guys use Intuit Online Payroll for Accountants. Well, that also gives you like a little to-do list, and I like that because we all need to remember what to do. So anyway, point is, let me go back to myself, and let me go back to my project. Actually, I'm sorry, my project's over here. Where am I? Where's my project? Oh, because I'm a lead. That's right. We'll have to talk about that later. So here I am. Here's my project. Okay, so Mariette's project. So and here's my workflow. So I know that I actually already have a workflow started. And so I already put my contact information in there. Okay, well, what's the first thing I like to do? I like to say thank you for contacting me, Mariette, right? That's kind of funny, but anyways. So I can actually review my template that I've created. So you create this real cute template. You can put your logo in there, which I think is awesome. You can create these automatic add-ins, which they call tokens, where I know you and I don't want to have to write like crazy because we write all day. So what the tokens allow you to do, it allows you to pull up information that's in 17 Hats. So for instance, obviously when you created the contact, you put in their name, their last name, company name, email, stuff like that. And so these tokens will just quickly allow you to add it into a template, so you don't have to write that person's name every time. You could just say, hi, first name, and 17 Hats is smart enough to know to go pull up the first name out of their contact information, which is pretty cool. You could also, once you have an actual scheduled date, you can say add the project date. So for instance, in my case, whenever I send the meeting invite, it always says, hi, Mariette, don't forget we have an appointment on, and then all I do is pull up project date and project time, and it'll pull up that scheduled information from 17 Hats. So I don't have to write that down every time, which is pretty cool. So then what I do is I send out this template. This is what I call my first contact template, and I send it out, and then this is what it looks like when it comes in. I'm hoping it's going to come. There it is. So there I am. See? So Mariette's sending an email to another email that I own, and it says, thanks for contacting me. I'm super excited to connect with you. And then this is pretty much what they get. And that is literally how quickly the emails come in, because I've tested this, I'm not kidding, probably 100 times, because I'm like, I'm always, does it really work that quickly, or does it really work, or does the email look really funky when it comes in? And it always looks good, which I'm really excited about. The links work perfectly. Do you see how I have a bunch of links in my email? Those all work perfectly, allows me to create the templates in here and carry them over. And so, it just follows down the list. So pretty much just continues down my workflow until the very end of the engagement. And that's pretty much how it works.
That is awesome.
That is awesome, yeah.
You like it?
Demonstration.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to give it back to the boss over here.
Oh, we need to get on to prices or something, don't we?
Oh, yeah, that would help.
And 1 and 2 users. Would 2 users be able to use 2 different emails?
They don't have multi-user right now.
Correct. So pricing is very straightforward. Can everybody hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me share my screen quickly again.
We have a puppy.
I muted it, so yeah.
And Donovan, is there any time in the future you think you'll have an affiliate program?
Yes, so that's one of the things. Hold on 1 second while we get. There we go. That's one of the things I want to talk to Mariette about after we're done here. Is some of the thoughts regarding an affiliate program. So we have a referral program right now. So if you refer to your clients, you get a free month. But for companies like yourselves, we want to do a little bit more than that. So I hate to sound like a broken record, but we are still very new, so we're still kind of figuring these things out as we go along.
Got it.
So the pricing, right now everything is included. We offer 3 different plans. One of our big things is that we want to keep it affordable for anybody starting a business as well. So if
The screen is black, Donovan. Is that
okay?
On purpose?
on purpose?
No, not on purpose. It
We
says,
saw you a minute ago.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Nice.
Look, maybe we're just so.
Donovan, and somebody asked a question.
Okay, I'll just keep it in the keynote because the moment I
So
click on
there's
it,
so it's all basically the same features. It's just you give a discount if you prepay.
correct. And
I like that.
one of the big things is this is a guaranteed price for life. So obviously as we grow, we'll be updating the price. But if you sign up now, it will never go up. And as we add more features, those will also be included. At some point we're gonna, as both of you said, you not use everything. So we want to make sure that people don't feel they're paying for stuff they don't use. So we are going to be, creating different tiers. But if you sign up now, you'll always get everything that we'll be adding as a kind of a thank you for being an early adopter. And like I said, that price is locked in. So once we get to 10,000, it's going to go up a little bit. But it would not. You would always pay the same price that you sign up for. So it's a very reasonable price. And there's no credit card required to sign up for the free trial. We want to make sure that you love it and it works for your business. And once you're ready, we offer these things. Now, if you upgrade within your trial or were referred by somebody, you will get another 10% discount on top of that. So, and again, that's locked in for life as well. So.
In 17 Hats, I know it's cloud-based, right?
Yeah.
I can't hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all cloud-based at this point.
That's great.
Yeah, and then somebody was asking a question, why 17 hats and not 16 or 18? And I know I need to have a better story for this, but the reality was is that we were stuck in traffic at Chicago O'Hare. I wanted to have something that started with a number and included a number, with the hats, and I wanted something that I could pronounce. When I say the word 15, people often say 50, right? So with 17, that confusion isn't there. And the domain name was available. So with those 2 requirements being done, that was the name. And it has worked very well for us. People instantly get what we're about. And also by having a number, it gets us in the top of the list of most business listings. So that helps also. But yeah, being able to pronounce it was a big one.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it too.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. I was once negotiating for a car when I just moved to LA, and the person selling the car wanted $3,000 for it, or $4,000 or something like that. And he asked me to make an offer, and I said, how about free, meaning $3,000, and he heard free as in zero.
F-R-E-E.
Oh.
So then he counted with 2,000, and it took me a few seconds to realize what had happened. So,
that's pretty good. It worked pretty well.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes it works in your favor, but I figured with our name, it's more helpful if people actually know what I mean. So.
Yeah.
This has been a great demo, Donovan. Thank you.
Well, thank you to Mariette for that very enthusiastic demo as well. That was great to see how people use it, in the wild, so to speak.
Well, you want to put Marietta on every one of your demos.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I could see your face. You were like,
Yeah, no, I was smiling the entire time.
Yeah, this is awesome. And the pricing is great as well.
It is.
I'd much rather have this kind of a demo than sitting here at night poking through, figuring things out myself.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
And it makes your head spin as far as all the different things you could use it for.
Who's that?
Yeah, and that's one of the downsides of an all-in-one system. Like, there's obviously a lot of options, but yeah, I think the demo that Mariette gave kind of gives you a good, jumping-off point.
Well, especially for accountants.
Yeah, because she knows how we use it too.
Yeah.
She does. So it helps. It puts it, in perspective. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she will keep you abreast of all the things that accountants want.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to check out the Trello board.
And is the Trello board also on their forum, Mariette?
No. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't tell because I'm trying to stay quiet over here next to Donovan. No, the Trello is actually my secret board. I actually created it on my own. I secretly invited Joanne, and then I secretly invited Melissa, and everybody wants to join. But I just know that I don't want to overwhelm them. Yeah. I don't want to overwhelm Donovan, which I could be a little overwhelming. So I'm taking it easy, girls. I'm taking it easy, team. We'll get there. We'll get there for sure.
Right.
Okay.
What's nice is the voting on the forum. I love that. So.
Yeah, and that's a great place to put in your ideas and have other people vote it. And we really use that as our internal North Star, so to speak, on our feature development. So.
I wish Intuit had done that in the beginning.
I'm very glad they didn't.
I didn't either. I'm glad you're doing it. You're doing a fine job. Donovan, can you change the time-date format for, like, Australia?
Yes.
Evidently, we have somebody in Australia on here.
Yeah, it does it automatically. So.
It does it automatically. You choose that in Windows or Mac, and then it does it.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure where it does that because one of my colleagues added that. But somewhere, depending on your time zone, I think in your profile you select. Let's see. On the preferences, you select your time zone. Yeah. So you would simply change it to like Australia, Sydney, or. Let's see what pops up here. Sydney or Perth, and my accent is Dutch, but I'm actually born in New Zealand, and my father lives in Perth, so I love Australia. I go down there quite a bit, so we wanted to make sure that the system works for Australia and New Zealand as well.
Got it. I thought it sounded like a German-Austrian accent, but
yeah, it's Dutch. So.
Dutch. All right, there you go.
So very, very close. Yeah. I've tried to get rid of it, but it's not going to happen.
If it's nice. And in America, everybody's got one kind of an accent or another. So.
That is true, yeah.
That's right. All right, gang, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Thanks again, Donovan.
Well, thank you all for being here. It was a lot of fun. Have a great weekend.
So we can just go over to 17hats.com and sign up for our 15-day free. And choose the 2 years, and we're gone.
Yeah. You're good to go. So thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you, Donovan.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Marguerite.
All right.